Hello and welcome to this ET Now special. I'm Nantara Rai, working from home, a luxury many COVID heroes cannot enjoy, including Cabinet Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, as well as Steel. Mr. Pradhan, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here for this interview on ET Now. I can't even imagine what it's been like the last 60 odd days for all of you. You have all been at the battle zone. Sir, having said that, today morning, a lot of us woke up fearing that are we going to see a third war front? You've seen one with COVID-19, second one with the economy, and sir, today we're hearing about escalated military confrontations likely with China. So how real or unreal are these fears?
Nantara, we all should be safe in the hand of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. With his decisive and strong leadership, India is safe, need to be panic, need to be worry. Let us come together to manage the COVID-19 situation in country and how we can recoup our, revive our economy. That is the primary job in front of all of us. Let us work in that direction as a team.
Fair point, sir. Like I said, we are fighting a war already on two fronts, the health front as well as the economy front. And sir, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the 20 lakh crore rupee economic package, Atmanirbhar. After that, we've seen a slew of press conferences by the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. Sir, what must have also given a lot of elbow room for this economic stimulus package would have been the low crude oil prices. Sir, has India managed to take advantage of the low crude oil prices, and how will it continue to do that?
Nantara, India is a consuming country. We are the number 3 energy consumer of the world. But our per capita energy consumption is 1/3 of the global average. With this fact, let me put the facts very in my prospect. Due to glut, due to oversupply by some of the producing country in OPEC and non-OPEC player country like America, in the pre-COVID situation, they were producing more in comparison to the global demand. In other hand, due to COVID-19, there was a serious disappearance of global demand. So in India, in a month of April, we have to lost 70% of our demand in comparison to 2019 April. With this thing, when the price fall back, price crashed. You can say the price crashed. Gradually, it is already started reviving. But with this low oil price, India took 2 decisions. One, we don't want to create any panic among the consumers. We put the price at a fixed point, because with this low oil demand, what is the meaning of price management? We have to put the price at a stable point. We save some money. We want to reinvest that money, knowing the difficult situation ahead. Government of India saves that money and reinvests that money in the welfare of the people, in the developmental activities to be taken over by government and respective state government. That money we are concentrating, we are diverting, we are spending on that sector. In other hand, India has a strategic storage facility of 5.33 million metric ton. We could fill up all the cavern by this time with this low oil price of April. India purchased around 9 million metric ton of crude, and we put it that crude in high sea through some floating vessels. And in India, in inland, product and crude oil are in and around refinery and different terminals. We could store 25 million metric ton of product and crude oil. Putting together around 38-40 million metric ton of oil or product we could save, capturing the low oil price of April. That saves up us around 25,000 crore rupees in comparison. If what the price was at January, if we could have been compared that price with April price, we could save 25,000 crore for the treasury. These are the some strategy we could take, and gradually the demand is picking up. I am hopeful with this low oil price, this low foreign exchange spending. India's economy at this juncture need some savings and some state-sponsored spending for the development and welfare of the people.
So, sir, that's massive. 25,000 crore rupees is what the Central Exchequer has managed to save because of the low crude oil prices. Our strategic reserves are full. But, sir, the other thing I wanted to also then ask you is, going forward, how will we continue to make sure that we have a windfall gain? Sir, our strategic reserves are full. Demand is also coming back. Are we now going to sign maybe, fixed contracts, renegotiate existing contracts? You led that once earlier with Qatar, for example.
No, you have to live with the global scenario. As I said, due this lockdown, this economic slowdown is not only in one part of the globe; it is in all part of the globe. So there is a low demand in month of March, in month of April, in month of June also. It is not business as usual. This is one story. Another story: the producing country had gone for a production cut, but with that cut, there is a substantial amount of production. There is a glut, there is a over production. Looking into and there are due to overproduction during the first quarter of this calendar year. There is all the storage facility of the globe is now near full. Sizable amount of floating ships are now converted to floating storage facility. All the pipelines, all the inland storage facility are full. Certain refineries are already shut down. Looking into this scenario, when our consumption will grow, I can visualize when our consumption started growing in May. If I compare between 2019 May and 2020 May, around 65% of the demand has been resumed. This has been come back. I think this kind of demand with moderate price, with low price, will help the economy.
So, sir, when all of this also happens and with demand that is coming back, I want to spend a little more time on Atmanirbhar, which also means being self-reliant. We're the third largest importer, as you just rightly pointed out at the start of the interview. We have, since the oil price crash during COVID-19, saved 25,000 crore rupees. But, sir, how are we going to be self-reliant? You had managed to make sure there would be very bold reforms, which many of us thought would never happen, whether it was the gas price formula, which had become a political hot potato, whether it was the proposed privatization of BPCL, sir. But now, of course, there is a problem where companies may be hesitant to invest in the oil and gas sector. How will you find the balance, sir?
No, I don't see this kind of situation in oil energy industry, because energy is today in the modern life, in the 21st century, energy is an essential commodity. Energy is a inevitable thing in our livelihood. It's like air and water. Energy is such a precious requirement today in the society. Looking into that demand, taking care of that demand, we have to see how we are preparing ourselves for the energy basket of the country. You said about, you put 2-3 questions in one basket. Let me answer one by one. You put, how do we have our Atmanirbhar in energy? Yes, this is an ambition we all have since long. Now, India is a leading country for energy diversification in its basket. We don't want to depend on one area of energy. We want to take advantage of our abundance of coal. We want to take advantage of low LNG price. We want to take advantage of our diplomatic relations and want to have more assured crude oil looking into our demand. With this kind of fossilized fuel management, We want to convert in a big way towards renewable energy. India is a country which has an ambition of 400 gigawatt of renewable energy power. We are very much focused on solar energy, we are very much focused on wind, we are very much focused on biofuels, we are very much focused on biogas also. And that apart, with this recent reform, Honorable Finance Minister mentioned, India is going to give priority to coal gasification. We don't want to use our coal only for thermal power generation. We want to value add our coal for coal gasification. This will be more economic activities will be there, more clean energy will come out of coal gasification, and when it will be in the gasified form, multiple use will be there of the coal energy. So India is totally prepared to put this roadmap for diversified energy basket, and we are investing capital spending there by Government of India, by respective state governments, and through our policy we are encouraging private entrepreneur to participate in our oil and gas and energy industry, and nobody in the global energy trade, energy business is not interested about India. Everybody is eyeing for India's market, because for the next 2-3 decades, I am telling about pre-COVID-19 situation, India is the hotspot of energy business. That is very loud and clear. So people are interested till now. With this COVID situation also, interested entrepreneur and investors are interested to be a part of India's journey. Another part of your question was what to do about BPCL. In principle, you might have seen that Honorable Finance Minister also mentioned there will be a new roadmap of PSU of country. So there will be new players, more techno-savvy players, more investment, more capital will be in the all around business of the country. It will not be monopolized by any government agency only. So in that way, in principle, Government of India is of this opinion. Government has no business to be in business. With that philosophy, we have decided to divest BPCL. In principle, that is still today valid and relevant, but it's a matter of business strategy. The DIPA ministry will look into the details of that when it will be on. Till now, it is June is the deadline. I think looking into market condition, looking into the situation of the market, DIPA will take an appropriate decision. But in principle, the decision of coming out of business from the government's role will be withdrawn from the business. That is clear and very categorical.
So, sir, with the government having no business to be in business, and what was said in that press conference by the finance minister was also in strategic sectors, you'll have 1 or 2 PSUs that will remain. So, can I ask you for a roadmap of the oil and gas sector and the steel sector? For example, would you ever consider privatizing SAIL in the steel sector? In the oil and gas sector, will we, for example, only be left with an ONGC and an IOC?
Let us see, let us not come to the conclusion at this juncture, but regarding both the industry, energy industry, oil and gas industry and steel industry, big private players are already there in this sector. We want to monetize our resource in a bigger way. We have abundance of minerals, we have abundance of natural resource. Through new architect, financial architect, we want to monetize our resource in the benefit of our citizen, because steel intents in country is very moderate. It is 74 kilo per capita consumption. The global average is threefold more. We want to catch up to global average. And in steel sector, I can say you, government's role in steel production, though SAIL is a very prestigious and very primary company of our country, but now steel is since long. Tata is a very old player, and lot of new player, big global player are also in the part of India's steel journey today. They will be more welcome. They will be. We will plan to invest in a bigger way from them.
You mean you could look at privatizing sales, sir? Is that what you're saying? Because you got Tatas and now the ArcelorMittals of the world in India, Vedanta.
They all are there. They already are there in the Indian market. But I will not use this term privatization. I will use the word more capital inflow will be in the sector. More new technology will come to the sector. More competition will be there in the sector. In that way, beneficiary will be the consumer. Beneficiary will be the poor countryman in the India. Just I can cite two examples. Just see, few years back in telephone, the privileged were holding telephone. The affluent person of the society were having telephone. Today, telephone is a common commodity, common use tool by all part of the country, by everybody. More than 120 crore telephones are there in the country today. Mobile telephones are there. It is a democratize the economic activities of telephone business. Now common man is the beneficiary. This airline industry, aviation industry. Now lot of more important player other than Air India are there. So common man is the beneficiary. We want to give opportunity to the new entrepreneur, new business plan, and ultimate beneficiary will be the consumer of the country. In that way, the economic activities will be more, the job opportunity will be more people will be engaged, more revenue will come to the governments. Government will spend that money in welfare.
Correct. So while you're talking about welfare, can I also ask you, as the cabinet minister having such important portfolios, what do you foresee for employment generation going forward? And sir, you know, while at one end we talk about privatization of PSUs, more capital inflows, strategic disinvestment, so will you look at your PSUs and look at them as tools to generate employment?
Nayantara, this is a historical fact. We all will be agree on this issue. MSME is the backbone of our country's economy in both way, giving revenue, giving contribution to treasury, and to create more job opportunity in the country. After with this technology, with this innovation, I am talking about 21st century, I am talking about last 2 decades. The nature and the character of the service, job, industry has been changed. This COVID-19 has expedited that journey in a bigger way. With this kind of scenario, there is a global challenge how to create new job opportunity, and with this kind of economic strategy we have unfolded recently, I am confident. We have opened mining sector, we have opened coal industry, we have opened aviation industry, we have opened defense, we have liberalized the agricultural framework. With all these things, more capital will flow into the society. That means more player will be there, more activities will be there, more job creation will be there. PSU as a proven track record, some PSU will be merged with the sector wise, and some of them will be continuing to do that, but PSU will be one part, but majority part will be come from the societal investment and investment by other players.
Okay. So, sir, do you see investments coming back soon? You know, like you said, we can't look at India in an isolated way. For example, ExxonMobil, it was looking at India in such a large way, but look at the big, massive write-off it has had to undertake in America. Rosneft had big plans for India. Look what it's having to grapple with in its home country. Saudi Aramco, you had been in touch with Saudi Aramco. I remember I was there at that press conference when he said we would have a petrol pump in every neighborhood in India. But things have changed, sir, because of COVID-19. So how will you, sir, and the Narendra Modi government go out there and attract foreign investments from some of the biggest and largest corporations?
Nantara, we should not think all these big players have a magic stick. Only if they will come, the country's economy will revive. As I said very categorically, looking into our demand, we all have to appreciate one issue, one reality at this juncture. There is a, sometimes if I am not a student of economics, but little bit economics I understand. As a student of public policy, I can say, in the recent past, we were all facing the disruption in the demand. But today, the crisis, the challenge, the global challenges, two way. There is a demand decline. There is a surplus disruption also. Two disruptions are there simultaneously. It will take some time, but in the energy industry, I can say, none of the major player of the world, none of the major player I can say, whether the size may be big, size may be medium, size may be small, they all are eyeing towards Indian market. I am confident of that reality. And last 2 months, I am quoting last 2 months, almost all major energy player in this industry of the globe are in touch with Indian industry.
Okay. So that means post-COVID as well, whether it is the small guys or the big ones like Rosneft, Saudi Aramco, they continue to be interested in India.
I think so.
So that's very heartening to hear as well. So if I could also ask you one question, which is that whenever there is a crisis, and it's not only in the recent past, I think this is a legacy issue as well. Whenever there is a crisis, the central exchequer always looks at the oil companies as a currency. We saw it this time as well with an excise duty. Sir, do you think that is also perhaps one of the reasons, and I'm asking this question because stock markets are trading at the moment, look at the stock prices of some of the oil and gas companies. Do you think that is why, despite all the bold reforms that you've come out with, sir, and reforms that a lot of us didn't think would be possible, you're not seeing its true reflection in the stock prices? Look at, you know, whether it's in ONGC, IOC, all of that. Do you think they're not capturing the true value because of this, always this overhanging fear कि पता नहीं कोई tax लग जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा?
Nayantara, we all are going through a very challenging and difficult time. We should, for some time, we should not see all these stock exchange dashboards. We should shut them down and we should concentrate on basic thing. We should revive the health. We should take care of the health first and we should take care of the economy first. Then automatically certain things will come up. At this abnormal situation, we should not calculate in a normal manner.
So, sir, can you also tell me a little bit about what some of the biggest challenges you personally faced during COVID-19? And sir, you know, you come from Orissa. You've had to deal with another challenge, which is, of course, with the cyclone. How did you personally grapple with all of this, keep the morale high? You have the largest public sector undertakings reporting directly to you also.
You see, in the Garib Kalyan Yojana announced by Honorable Prime Minister, our ministry has a big, substantial role to distribute 3-month free LPG cylinder to the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana beneficiary. We are successfully implementing that scheme through the DBT mechanism. We have transferred more than 8,000 crore of rupees to the different account of the Ujjwala beneficiary. More than 7 crore people have already taken cylinder, either 1 cylinder or 2 cylinder according to their need. And that apart, every day to the normal LPG consumer, we are distributing, every day we are distributing more than 55 to 60 lakhs LPG cylinder. That apart, all our petrol pumps are open during the lockdown period also, because we have to serve the government vehicles, we have to serve the essential services to the transport sector. those who are carrying food grains, medicines, in all the areas. So our industry, and we have not shut down any of the refinery because we have to look into the demand of LPG, we have to look into the continuance of minimum supply chain. So we don't shut down any of our production field or any of the refinery. Or entire, so that means entire ministry, entire PSU, entire industry is on the job since last 2 months. So there is no difference of this lockdown to our ministry. So in steel ministry, in the steel industry, almost all primary sector industries, those who are integrated steel plant, almost all of them were on, because they can't shut down their blast furnaces. Some of the company have shut down their blast furnaces, but majority of them are continue with their production, with their available raw material. But certain mining activities, certain transportation activities were still continuing in the challenging time. So for me, in the both the area, we have to work, we have to coordinate the other societal thing also. That apart, I come from Odisha. With God's grace, we could successfully save ourselves from the Amphan cyclone. This is a huge cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. Unfortunately, Bengal became the landfall point, but in that part, successfully respective state governments and government of India, especially lot of credit goes to NDRF. Now global restoration force, global crisis management force, disaster management force has come up in India, very credible and very competent force. They all are working hard in that part of country, and we are confident we can handle the situation.
That I think we have seen all of you, sir, right at the battlefront, fighting on behalf of all of us. So with that, we are out of time. I'd really like to thank you for being so candid, for joining us here and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.